2024 is the completely redesigned Hyundai Kona. Now this is Hyundai's compact SUV. It's proven very popular for good fuel economy, for its compact size, and its very budget-friendly price. But what did Hyundai learn when they started talking to customers? People wanted more space, more luxuries, and more capability. So for 2024, the Hyundai Kona has 3 different power options. There is an electric EV option. There is a 4-cylinder with 147 horsepower, and there's a 4-cylinder turbo that takes the horsepower up to 190. So you get lots of power, and then you also get sport mode, and in the all-wheel drive versions you get snow mode, and you get a locking differential, so leaving a little more traction when you need it. The exterior design of the 2024 Hyundai Kona actually takes from Hyundai's electrified cars. And you'll notice, if you've looked at their electric cars, you'll notice the light bar that goes across the front. You'll notice that pixel design. There's lots of little boxes or pixels that actually comprise this light bar. And on the front end, notice how the metal comes all the way down to the middle, and then we have our air vents here, our intakes here, and lights there. So they've actually taken this front end and they've adapted the gas engine to the design of the EV, the electric car version of the Hyundai Kona. They also have added these cutout lights here on either side. And then along the side, take a look. Hyundai has added the idea of off-road capability. So this, in other colors that are not dark, this is really distinct. We have this dark cladding here and then the metal here. In the electric version, this will all be body colored metal. And then we have the Hyundai, what I think of as the Zorro slash. So you have this sort of Z shape that's cut into the side panels to give the car a little bit of motion. One thing that I really love though is this. Come here, I want to show you. Many cars will have 3 lines, or they'll have a little silver button here for the smart key. This is actually body colored metal and it's very sublime. You just tap it and the car will open if you have your key in the pocket. Now, come here, I want to show you around the rear. I want you to notice this chrome piece here that actually swoops up from underneath the windows to surround the rear of the car with this rear spoiler here. And that light bar that we had on the front, we actually have it around here on the back as well. So Hyundai kept that whole idea. It's something that we've seen in their electric cars, and now we're seeing it in the gas cars too. And those front headlights that are cut into the body and the front, well, they're replicated here on the tail lights too. It's a whole new look for the Hyundai Kona for 2024. This is the key to the 2024 Hyundai Kona. I like the shape. It feels good in my hand. Notice here is the auto start. So you hold this, it will start. You unlock it, lock it. There is your emergency to blow the horn if you need to. If I hold this, I can open the lift gate, and I have smart parts. So I can actually start the car. And then if I'd like to pull it out of a parking spot, I can actually just hold this and it will shift into gear, and it will go backwards or it will go forwards. Slowly, but it'll do it. How about that? Here's what else I can do with this key. I can hold this to open the lift gate. Voila. Let's take a look inside and see what's new for 2024 in the Hyundai Kona. Inside the front cabin of the Hyundai Kona, there are a lot of luxuries, and luxury is the name of the game. So the first luxury is air conditioning, and let's get some air conditioning. One of the luxuries is dual climate zone control. So front seat passengers can each have whatever they want in climate control. And we also have heated and vented seats. Those are really nice luxuries for a value-priced compact SUV like the Hyundai Kona. But I want you to look here. This is what you'll really notice first, is this large, curved but flat screen multimedia system. So we have all the Hyundai functions here. This has been completely redesigned. So if you've seen some of Hyundai's other more modern vehicles, you'll notice that this looks like those, and it actually takes a cue from some of their other luxury brands, namely Genesis, where we have these tiles, and it's very simple, it's very elegant with icons and tiles. You can slide your finger to access whatever it is you would like to see. On this part of the screen, the multimedia system, over here, there's a digital driver information screen here. So we're able to customize what we want to see here a little bit, not a lot, and we're able to get all the driver feedback that we need to see in really plain, easy to understand graphics. You can customize what you see on the driver information screen by using this button and scrolling through. So I can tap that for different settings, and I can use this textured metal dial to dial through the different settings and see exactly what it is I'd like to see in front of me. There are my driver and safety systems at work. I can see anything that's activated, lane keep assist, I can see blind spot monitoring, all of those things right there in my driver information screen. I can also see in our version, we have this blind spot monitor. So there is a blind spot detector, which is standard. This is an option, and it shows you a view on either side of the car based on the turn signal that you're using. I want you to notice this though too, and that is right here. There are little dots on the steering wheel, something that you see in the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the Ioniq 6. This is the pixel design language. We also see it on the exterior of the car and some other places, including on the seats in the Hyundai Kona. That sort of anchors the steering wheel. This steering wheel feels really nice with its leather cover. And we have our controls over here. So over here we'll find the driver assistance and safety features here, and then our multimedia control buttons over here. I really like how low this all is because I have a really good view of the road. Now, my seat's a little higher than a lot of people set their seat. I like a really high seating position because all I want to see is over the steering wheel and over the dash and all of the road. And I like that there's, even with my seat up this high, I still have quite a lot of headroom here and a lot of visibility. That's one of the things that we like about SUVs. But let's talk about the thing that you get in this car that you don't get in every car, and that is someplace to put your purse. Now, Hyundai thought a lot about this flexible space here in the center console. They thought about that because they moved the gear selector. The gear selector, which might have been here as a lever in the center before, is now over here. It's just underneath the windshield wipers, and it has this nifty little dial here, so you dial it forward for drive, back for reverse, and then punch the button on the end for park. Having the gear selector over here gives us all of this beautiful space over here. So what do you get in this space? Well, we start with USB-C ports, so we've got 2 of those here. There is a wireless charge pad. Now, this isn't on every version, but it is on it's an option or it's standard on many of the versions. We have our heated and cooled seat controls here. We have our drive mode selector here. So you can see over here, I can put it in sport, I can put it in snow, I can put it in normal, and I actually even have a differential lock here in the center button if I really need that extra traction for all-wheel drive. I've got park sense, I've got my parking cameras right here, so I can get different views that I'd like. I really love the forward view, but we can also get a close-up, we can get a surround view, and then we have some settings, so we can set it to however we like to see our camera, which is a pretty nice detail. And then of course the heated and cooled seats, and look at that, we still have a cigarette adapter style power outlet there. It's nicely hidden behind this little panel there, so I like that. But one of my favorite features in this car is this. So you notice the water bottle. There is a retractable cup holder there. So I can have my cup holder, or I can push it out of the way and have really large flexible space right here. So not only do I have large flexible space there, but I have large flexible space here. So if you wanted to put a small handbag, now my handbag's too big, but I could put a nice size cosmetic bag there. If I had a smaller, like a crossbody bag, I could easily tuck it right here where the cup holders are, and then take my water bottle and put it in the bottle pocket in the door. And that's a great flexible solution. Hyundai didn't have to figure out how big my handbag is and where everything goes. They just gave me the flexibility of the space. I will say I really love these retractable cup holders, and so will your 11-year-old who's going to play with them nonstop. So get used to that one. But it's a nice, clean, easy to use space. It will clean up nicely. There is a nice large cargo space here that's open, so you could put that cosmetic bag in there underneath the armrest. And then there's this little tray, and we have cords in here, and it just tucks right in there as well. So you could actually put the cosmetic bag, the tray, and right underneath your armrest, and then still have the cup holders when your 11-year-old decides that he's just not going to stop playing with them. Then you have that as well. Another thing front seat passengers will love is this. We have a stuffed shelf. So I love this little shelf. That's a great place for the front seat passenger to put their things. You can put change and other small things there. That's a great place to tuck away a charge cord for whatever it is the front seat passenger needs. She or he has the space that they need right there. That's a nice little solution as well. Another thing that Hyundai did as I explore this car, there's actually a little phone rest there. So if for some reason I need to see what's going on my phone, I can prop it there, I can prop it here, and it will sit nicely right there. So if maybe the front seat passenger wants to put her phone there so she can see if she gets a text, it's right there and easy to see. That was a very thoughtful little detail, a nice use of the space. I can tuck it in there though and let my phone charge. Also, you'll notice down here underneath the dashboard there is a light strip down here, and that gives you ambient light. You'll also notice that many of our buttons are illuminated here. They're actually illuminated on the steering wheel, on the door panel. All of this ambient light is designed so that when it's dark out, you see the key functions that you need. You have a little light, but it's not going to be overwhelming or distracting for the driver. There is voice recognition. You can actually set if you wanted to beep before you talk or not give a beep before you talk. It does not have voice activated assistance, so you can't say, "Hey Hyundai," at least not yet, but that might be in the future for the Hyundai Kona. Because the Hyundai Kona is longer and it's larger, that means there is more space for passengers in the rear seat. Thinking about that, Hyundai actually made the rear seats flatter and gave you a little more legroom. Now, this seat is set for my driving position, so what does it look like when I'm sitting behind this seat? Well, surprisingly roomy because the rear of the seat is curved. These seats are actually slimmer than they've had in prior editions, and that gives me more interior legroom. Now, that seat is pushed way up, and whoever gets to sit behind that person is very lucky. Now, come here, I want to show you some of the things that rear seat passengers will have in the Hyundai Kona. I'm going to start here. There are child passengers lower anchors here, so there are two sets, one there and one there. But the center seat is actually pretty wide, so you would be able to fit a baby carrier base or a booster seat perhaps here in the center. Can you fit 3 car seats across? Probably, with the right car seats. There also is a fold down armrest with cup holders here in case you don't have a center passenger in the middle seat. You can have cup holders. Those are the cup holders, although there's a little cubby here and there are 2 USB-C ports here. There are no standard USB ports in this car, so if you have the old style connector, you're going to have to invest $15 or so in a USB-C connector for your phone, because that is the standard in this car. And then there's a nice little cubby, and there are air vents right here. Now, I want you to notice these USB-C ports are backlit, and that means that you can see them in the dark, which is a wonderful thing. And then what else do you get? Well, there's a sunroof here. Backseat passengers don't benefit from the sunroof. They do benefit from these windows here on the side. So there are these little windows here in the back that give you plenty of extra light. And this very tall square roofline gives you plenty of headroom. So I'm 5'8", And I've got plenty of headroom here. So somebody who's maybe over 6 feet tall is not going to be as comfortable, but anyone under 6 feet tall is probably going to be just fine. So longer and larger also means more cargo space. And in the Hyundai Kona, they have added 6 more cubic feet of cargo space. Pretty impressive, but they've also done this, which I really love. They've given us a flexible cargo cover here. So instead of taking this and just throwing it in the garage and letting it accumulate cobwebs and dead, dried leaves, you can actually stow it right here in the car, and I'm going to show you how. So you just pull these little tabs off, you pull this up here like this, and then it slides back. There's just a couple of little holds right there, so it just slides back. If you're not putting the seats flat, this is a really great way to put something in that's a little bit larger and takes up a little more space. Now you might be asking, what's under the cargo floor? Well, there is a spare tire. All-wheel drive cars and four-wheel drive cars need a spare tire, and the Hyundai Kona has a spare tire. There's also a little storage pocket over here, and there's a nice little hook for grocery bags there. There's actually there's 3 hooks for grocery bags. So you can put the cargo cover there, or you can take it out and put the seats flat. So let me show you what the seats look like when they are flat. To lower them, you just pull this tab on the shoulder, and they go very flat, as you expect with every good SUV. That flexible cargo space is important. Now I'm probably, oh, you know what? Guess what? I did not have to move my seat to put this one down. I'm 5'8", and this is set for me, and I still have plenty of room to clear that space. So in this case, I might take the cargo cover and put it in the garage, but I don't necessarily have to. But this is what the car looks like. This is what the cargo area looks like with the seats folded flat. The seats are not power, you just have to push them up like that, but they do lift very easily. I can do it with one hand, and then I can put my cargo cover back in place, just like that. And we have a power lift gate on this edition. Not all editions have the power lift gate, but the Limited does. So this might look just like the Hyundai Kona that I've been in earlier today, but this is, listen, the electric version. So this is 100% electric. It is 100% quiet. In fact, all you really hear is the fan. And luckily we have vented seats because it's about 100 degrees out today. So I'm really appreciating the vented seats. Everything in this car functions the same as it does in the gas version. All the buttons are in the same place. All the controls are in the same place. The USB ports and things like that. The only differences are, these are not paddle shifters. They are I-pedal controls. So you can increase or decrease the amount of regenerative braking that this car delivers, that the powertrain delivers. So the amount of energy that's created and stored back in your battery. And we have our drive mode selector here. If I pull the left paddle twice quickly, I'll see a little I-pedal light come on here on the driver information screen. It's very small. In some of Hyundai's electrics, the I-pedal icon is really big because they've incorporated both electric and gas versions into this screen. They've had to maybe make a few other adjustments to how they present information and what the car feels like. But I will say, I-pedal, one-pedal driving is in this car pretty identical to how it is in other Hyundai electric cars. So that's a nice detail because I like the way that Hyundai's electric cars drive. I like the fact that the Kona, you get the choice of gas or electric. You can pick your power. So that's a nice option. And then even if you pick the electric, because this car shares the frame of it, the shell and the details and the buttons and all of that with the gas version, that doesn't mean that there's compromises in the electric powertrain. So I will say I'm kind of liking this. If you don't want all of that regenerative braking, you can actually lessen it by pulling on the right paddle, and that sends you more to sort of a normal drive experience where the car has more sort of ambient power on its own. You lift up the accelerator, it doesn't slow quite as much. And if you're in a parking lot, and you want to creep forward, they actually call it creep mode. If you want to creep forward, then it allows you to creep forward. So I've lifted my foot completely off the accelerator and I haven't slowed a bit. And that's because I'm just at level 1 regenerative braking. But if I put it down into level 3, I really feel it when I lift my foot off the accelerator. Another thing that you'll find is in here, and that is the electric feedback information. I've got 73% of the battery power here. So it shows me all of those details. This one says there are 168 miles left on the range, and I've gone 26 miles, almost 27 miles on my trip odometer. So it's nice to be able to see information tailored for the electric drive experience right there. The drive experience in the Hyundai Kona EV or electric vehicle is pretty much what you would expect from a Hyundai electric car. I like the iPedal drive. I like the ability to set that level of regenerative braking wherever I like. I like that there are some thoughtful details like heated and cooled seats, so that reduces the amount of air conditioning or heating that you need. You don't really need to condition the cabin. You can just condition the seat for your own comfort. So that's a nice detail. So there's a lot Hyundai hasn't told us yet about the electric version of the Kona, which will go on sale next year. They did tell us that. They haven't announced pricing. They've given us some basics though. They have said it will have somewhere between 210 and 250 mile range, depending on the battery type that you get. You'll be able to recharge it overnight using a level 2, either in your garage or at a public charging station. And it will have vehicle to load capability, which means you can get the adapter for the power port in the front, and you'll be able to use the power of the Hyundai Kona electric car to charge something, another piece of equipment, or just run a laptop or an outdoor stove or whatever it is that you need to do. Those days when the power goes out because of a storm, that will be a very convenient thing to have rather than a gas-powered generator. You'll be able to just plug things into your car and power them that way. So that vehicle to load capability is quite nice as well. So some of the things that we really love about Hyundai EVs, Hyundai electric cars, are going to be part of the electric Kona experience as well. Hyundai has included 3 really great technology features as a part of the 2024 Hyundai Kona. And the first one is over-the-air updates. So as you drive, as you go through life, the system, the multimedia system, the electric power system, other systems in the car will be able to update with over-the-air updates. So just as your computer or your phone update kind of seamlessly, it gives you a notification that it's going to update, and then it does, you don't have to do anything. You'll have that in this car too. The second one is Hyundai Pay. So you've probably never heard of Hyundai Pay, and that's okay. The company just rolled this out. They just announced it recently. And what this is a seamless payment system. You enter your information into your app or into your multimedia system, and then you can actually find and pay for parking right there on your multimedia system without ever pulling out a credit card or tapping your phone. You'll also be able to use Hyundai Pay for electric charging, and our suspicion is you'll be able to do other curbside pickup, drive-through, think about drive-through Starbucks, things like that using Hyundai Pay and not having to worry about tap and go, pulling out a credit card, or, oh my goodness, cash, just imagine. The third thing that Hyundai has rolled out with the 2024 Hyundai Kona is an updated digital phone. They call it Phone is Key 2. So they've upgraded the system with more features, more functions, and more usage for those who want to be able to use their phone as a key, which if you have a teenager who wants to borrow the car, or if you'd like to leave it for someone at the airport so they can pick it up while you're traveling, then you know how great Phone is Key really is. For 2024, Hyundai really listened to customers and is delivering what people are asking for: more space, more capability for off-road or inclement weather driving, more technology in terms of safety systems and multimedia functions, and a gas-powered, a sporty-powered, or an electric version. Pricing starts at about $24,000, which is a little bit of a bump up from prior model year. And all in, it's about $35,000. Fuel economy, still rolling in at about 30 miles per gallon. Thanks for joining us for this tour of the Hyundai Kona. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe to us right here on YouTube, and follow us along with us on social media.